Hello, lovely viewers. It's me again. I know it's been a little while, but after last time. So last time, Team 1 was up for elimination, and Oddbay Cruz got eliminated because I thought a lot of people liked her. People hated her, sir. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. And then anyways, the contestants had to do a paintball. It was an item hunting challenge. Oh, I am so... Anyways, the contestants were up for an item hunting challenge, and it was JD's birthday, and somehow he gave me $3,000 to sit out the challenge, which he turned 24 on November 5th. But anyways, other than that, Team 2 was up for elimination, and now we figure out who will get eliminated. Let's see who will lose, who will win, and hopefully I don't stutter when I speak because I just woke up. But find out on Survival of the Idiots. A TV show made by Course Entertainment.
Stores everywhere.
Survival of the Idiots is created by Floyd Mobile 70.
What's this rainbow thing doing here, Oodle? Is this for the challenge or something?
Huh? What? Ah! Yo, Jackson, and what did you find? Oh, wait, bro, wait, what is this thing? Oh no, the door's locked. Oh. We're gonna have to bring this thing back. I don't even know what it's doing here. Hey, wait, Oodle, me and Jackson found something. I hope they don't find out much about me. Team 2, welcome to your second elimination. How does it feel to be up for elimination for a second time? I don't know. There's no way you could be in danger.
Or am I?
That doesn't make any sense, but fast fun. Alright, well anyways, we received a grand total of 25 votes. If you're safe, you'll receive one of these M&Ms. But if not, you'll be eliminated. And you'll be sent to Niagara. Yeah, okay, but who's safe? Okay, well now anyways, Paul Conrad, you're the first person safe with 0 votes. So, hey wait, hang on, Paul Conrad. Have you fixed that monitor, sir? Nope, well actually I did, but I just can't read. But fast fun, you're the first person safe with 0 votes, so here you are.
Sweet home Alabama!
Are you kidding me? Oh god! Dewey Conrad, you're also safe with 64 votes. So are you, Chris. Here you go. And yeah, oh wait, there's some bloopers for you. So, 0 votes again? Hey Chris, we got 0 votes again.
Yeah, and thank goodness I didn't get voted again, but this is gonna be a tough one though, because everyone on our team was cool, and I still miss Nick Ship.
Well, okay. Anyways, well, Nick Shift was a long time ago, so Will Rush, you also got 0 votes. Congratulations. And it kind of shocks me, because last time you got voted, and this time you didn't.
Well, being 0 votes, considering I didn't do much yesterday, it's kind of terrifying, but I'm glad that my Scottish friends are still there for me.
Okay, so now, with 4 of you safe, there's still 5 of you left to be served with an MM. There's 4 of them left and 5 of you. Let's see what it comes down to. That's my accent, sir. So anyways, George Newart, you're the next person safe with 2 votes. So, there you go.
Yay! We did it!
Anyways, that's just down to you 4. You've got to be joking me. Aaron Clocker, you're safe with 4 votes. This is what I like. Final 3. Jonas Carvers, Paul Conrad, and Rowdy Revan Bush. It kind of shocked me for your here. What? I didn't get any votes last time. Why am I here now? This doesn't make any sense. Ha! Serves you right. I'm sorry, Dewey. Wait, what are you apologizing? What did I? Alright, anyways, Paul Conrad, despite of the fool you act, you seriously act like a fool a lot. You're safe for 5 votes. Congratulations.
Me, my gay boyfriend Jackson Storm will pegworm all your stores and make you all sick. Also, we're gonna crash Dog and Misty's wedding, and I'm gonna chow down the wedding cake and become Disney Store.
Yeah. So anyways, it sounded Jonas Carvers and Rowdy Revan Bush. What? Are you serious? Serves you right, idiot. I thought you liked me. Oh, well then again, though, you didn't really like me to begin off with. Anyways, one of you guys is safe with 6 votes and the other is eliminated with 8. Let's see the votes. Jonas Carvers, you're safe with 6 votes. Congratulations. Nice. And Rowdy, you're eliminated with 8. What? Kind of a number's sake. Well, if you remove a 1, you'd get 8. Although it's not a number's sake. This is day 7, so yeah. I thought I would have made it far, but then again, though, I'm not really liked. Rowdy, I want to apologize for how I treated you all the time, and I only did because I kind of thought you were weird, but other than that, you know. Oh, Paul, will you stop that? Other than that, you know, I know I wasn't the best outfit for you, but I tried. You did, and I still like you, even if you don't like me. Really? Yeah, fly. I didn't even know that. Well, neither did I, but hanging out with you just made me pretty comfortable, even if we didn't have the best time together. But I'm still concerned how I even got eliminated anyways. Like, this is just so weird.
The only reason why you got eliminated, Rowdy, and it's an odd reason, is because no one really liked HTB. I think that HTB is cool.
Wow, thanks guys, but it really means a lot. Oh no, Chick Hicks! Hey Rowdy, it's the Kachiga baby, yeah, he wants my mozzarella. I need my mozzarella. I'm sorry. So, you got eliminated? Yeah, pretty much.
What?
Still weird how the camera did that. Anyways, Rowdy, this is Niagara Falls. This is where you're gonna go when you get eliminated. Thanks, guys. I had fun. Well, with all that out of the way, cheers!
Moo!
Fuck you. Well, that did not go as planned. Anyways, let's get back to the main area. Where are we? Oh, yeah. Okay, contestants, for your seventh challenge. Hey, wait a second. Jackson, Rich, come over here. Didn't you tell me something about some shy rainbow coming over here? Yes, we did, bro. Is he up there? Yeah, we'll be right back. Alrighty then. Here he is, Oodle. We found him. Oh, so this is him? How did you find me? Well, you were hiding behind that big rock, bro. You gotta admit. Fair point. Alright, so anyways, wait. He is wondering. Okay, so for today's challenge, it's gonna be on a WWE-based warrior match. Who will it feature? It'll feature, let's see. It'll have Weird Maran, the Speed Demon, the Easy Auto Tractor, and the Shy Rainbow. There's no way Weird Maran exists. Oh yeah? If I told you Weird Maran didn't exist, then what's that? Oh my gosh. How the heck did you know he was real? I do not know. Okay, so everybody get into your teams. Okay, yeah, no problem. Alright, anyway, so starting off with Team 1, you guys are gonna get Weird Maran for your challenge. Nice. He's a space alien, so that shouldn't be too bad. And your leader for this challenge is gonna be Richie Gunzipped. Oh my god, are you kidding? You did not just say Richie.
Yeah, how come Richie gets to be the leader of this challenge? It's the randoms are broken or something?
You have gotta be joking me.
I'm hoping Weird Maran won't go too crazy for this challenge, especially if it's a boxing challenge.
I'm sure Richie won't be that bad of a leader, you guys. But Weird Maran's a space alien, so it's gonna be impossible to train him.
Yeah, whatever you say, Conrad. Weird Maran is literally gonna be one of the weirdest people ever. Especially how Richie's gonna be leading this challenge. Team 2, you have the Speed Demon. Hi, sister, James Tallhair.
Well, guys, check this out. This is the Speed Demon.
Hello,
She's
sister.
looking very cool today, but better beat those others in the fight team matches today.
I'm not gay, sister. This is how I talk, because in real life, though, Speed Demon is actually female on Cars on the Road. So, Team 3, you have Easy Auto Racing Tractor. And Team 4, you get the Shy Rainbow Zero as your wrestler. Oh boy, Jackson, I don't know how this will turn out. So, without further ado, no questions asked, let's get on to this thing. Oh, by the way, you all have 4 hours to train these guys. Whoever loses in the WWE match will be up for elimination. So let's get on some light for this competition.
On your marks, get set, go!
So, bros, how exactly did you find this thing? Well, it was under a rock. Well, the good news is now, this little rainbow guy can be lighting up in the sky, so we can win that WWE match. Ooh, but I've never been in a WWE matching contest. I feel shy. Oh, don't worry about that. We'll help you in no time. Me, Chisaki, and the others will help you. Yeah, me too. Me free! Caleb, I thought you were on the other team. I know, but I love being supportive, you know. It's great. Yeah! Oh. I was like, hey, we had coffee. Oh yeah, coffee, oh yeah. They talk weird with a New York accent, that's kinda weird. Well, bro, the main thing is, we have to train this little guy. And if we don't, bro, we might be lose. Is it for you, I'll say? Come on, Jackson. Bro, it can't be too hard now, right? I am literally the bro, the master of bros. We have to train this man right away.
No way!
Easy Auto Tractor. I'm so happy to see you, my brother.
Me too. Wait, you guys are brothers? Oh my god.
Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you guys that Easy Auto Tractor is my brother. And he can talk too. That's cool. And apparently Oodle says if we lose, I get an immunity. I've never heard of it, but it sounds like fun.
Wait, hang on. So Harvey gets an immunity if we lose? I don't even know what that is, so you'll have to explain that to me later.
Well, I guess I can do that and wait, but good luck on the challenge! Wow, this is so cool. I wonder what we could do with a talking tractor anyway. Just think about everything. Everything? Eric, this could be a mistake getaway. You never know what could happen. I guess, but he doesn't look so bad.
I see what you mean, Steve. My weird Marin, Steve. He is a weird-looking alien. But how is the challenge going to determine him beating the others in the fighting machines?
I don't know, but it feels kind of weird if you think about it, but what are you guys doing? You're taking forever. Sorry, Dan. We were just talking about how weird Maran is. Or Weird Marin. I don't even know which one to call him. It's pronounced Weird Maran, you stupid. Now, come on, we'll have all day. Don't be rude, Dan. I try not to, but, you know, I can. Weird Marin's not that bad, Steve. I thought it was Weird Maran. I don't even know which one to call him. It's like Weird Maran, Weird Marin. It's like, you know, it's like kind of weird. That's true. That's true. And oh gosh, I do feel the same way. And that's why, you know, I always like to enjoy my extra coffee with, you know, lots of cream and lots of sugar in it. That is a very cool challenge you just did.
Dude, that's the coolest thing ever.
How do you know?
My car, a tractor, a space alien, a shuttle. Think about how epic it'll be, man.
Well, you are right. But, you know, being honest, this might be a kind of an interesting challenge, but then again, though, it is pretty smart of me to think of that way, so you're right, sir. You're absolutely right.
Whew, that's fine, bud. Let's get in there.
Well, okay, but how exactly are we able to take care of this thing? Oh, don't worry. Me and Jackson know what to do. How exactly? Sorry, Tim, but how exactly do you know how to do that thing? Oh, we know lots about rainbows. But he only has 4 stripes, not 7. Oh. Wait, did you just say 7? Oh, gosh.
Oh yeah? Well, what you call that?
Oh, come on. Show us your stripes, man. What do you got? You think so? Come on, man. You got this. Now give us extra points, too. Yeah, it won't be that bad. Right, bro? Okay. Dun, 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 dun.
This is the coolest thing you've ever done.
Holy crap. We got a rainbow for this challenge. But he's so small, and he can't really do much.
Jackson, let me tell you, Tim, we have really good experiences with rainbows. I'll tell you now. He's actually a pretty smart one. Come on! Well, you never know. It may not be that bad, bro, but at the same time, it might be some delays. Alright, we'll tell you guys what. Me and Jackson will take the main roads as a challenge. Flip and Chisaki, you'll be our assistant. Is that okay? Oh, sure, no problem. What do you think, Chisaki?
Okay. Just hold still.
Ah! Oh! What's in my tire? Oh! Now I get it. Hey Jackson, I got some pins in my tire. Nice. I know. It's probably one of the coolest things we've ever done. You know? But oh, you said it. Oh no! The challenge! Well, I gotta get something. Don't you dare ever hit me again. Ah! Sorry, Dad. It's 5, but just as long as you're not Richie. and I am the same model as him. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited on my first day. We gotta hurry. He's right, bro. We got to hurry. I thought I told you not to hit me again. Danny, you're the same old as Richie. Look at you guys. Yeah, sorry, bro. Sorry, bro. It's fine. Forget about it. Okay, whatever you say. Oh, it's so exciting! Oh God, yeah, oh, I'm not even that big.
We have to help Uncle Eddie's get to Rainy Mountain. Come quick.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
I'm not sure if tractor chipping is a good idea, you guys. We're supposed to train Speed Demon unless if she knows how to tip over the tractors.
Well, it can't be that bad of a problem, Chris. I mean, if you think about it, Speed Demon's literally just talking like James Charles. James Charles. Hi, sister. James Charles here. James Charles here. Well, even though, well, I almost ended a car's life one time. Wait, you started on cars on the road? Yes. I did. Interesting. Alright, well come on, Chris, we're not all day. You too, guys, for coming, Jesus. Give us time. Oh, Rowdy's on there, oh my God. Hey, Paul, you see those tractors over there? I bet you now we could literally tip all those over.
Oh, here's one sitting out. Alright, how do I open it? Okay, I have an idea.
Yeah, alright, what's that? Alright. The others are weak. Now come on, do this. Alright. Wow, I did not think you had that much power in you. Congratulations, you've earned my respect. Yeah. Wait, do you guys not know I can fly? We know you can fly. Maybe you can go on the ground too. Yeah, but yeah, well, beats her. Anyways, you guys did great. Let's go tip down some more tractors.
Okay, so the first thing you want to do is tractor tipping. If there aren't any tractors but tip over a horse's neck.
Well, if you think about it, the others are literally flying with tractors over there. You can literally see from this angle. And for the record, they're not really doing that great. It would be pretty weird. Old MacDonald had a farm. Let's see, is there like a Q in there or something?
Yeah, can't see V. Now I remember. I didn't think the tractor would fall over on NFAS, but looks like we're gonna have to push or chainsaw the area to get them out of there.
You are right about that. See, even got so bad, the fast is literally gonna be stuck on there forever. Sister, I just had to take a break. Yeah. Weird. Well, it's just us three now, and Richie's stuck taking orders, which I don't like. Well, if anything, at least it wouldn't be too bad.
Spiky?
Eric? Barry? Steve? Oh my god, are you kidding me? Wow, so what did I miss? Sorry. I didn't know. Oh god. Oh.
Oh, Jesus, are you okay? That was a nasty rat.
Richie, why would you do that? Like, come on. If like, I don't even know what we did wrong. Dude, what?
That's mean.
Dan's right, Richie. You haven't done anything, and now half of us are in this wreckage. This is all your fault.
Yeah. Better off going somewhere else then, Richie. Because we clearly don't need you here. Ah! Let's just go, guys. We're gonna leave him. And we'll come back for you four. Oh god. Ow.
Wait, so you're telling me that the Easy Idle Tractor and Harvey are brothers? Harvey? This John? Is he for you?
Yeah, it will be interesting for you. No offense, but... Oh, we gotta get on training then. Yeah. Yeah. See? It might be a mistake. That's for dang sure. Hey, Cam, do you even know anything about the tractors?
Don't worry about it, Jonathan. I'm sure that tractor can do a lot more than just being over.
Yeah, I guess, but hopefully it works.
The thing is tough, Harvey. Easy Idle Tractor can't really do much considering the fact he's a tractor. And we only had 3 hours, 39 minutes, and 39 seconds to make him the strongest wrestler out there.
Don't tell me you just said 39.
Having 39 things can be awfully nice.
Like 39 lovely cubes of ice.
To cool these 39 lovely drinks.
I have a gold necklace with 39 links.
Yes, you can spend a lot of time singing the number 39 if you really want to feel like a please. Don't mention the 7. Hey! You know what I'm thinking about doing later? What's that, sir? Spill my coffee on me. Good idea. I'm glad you're supportive. Rainbow, welcome to the gym. Wow. This is what it feels like, dude. Bro, this is F45. Dude, one of the best gyms around. Oh. Wait, I thought F45 and Planet Fitness are the same company. I think they are. Ooh, that's what I thought too. You awake, guys? Don't worry, we got this under the hand. We want you to drink all of these in the whole day. I'll do it. Alright then, Rambo. Are you ready for your workout? Yeah, I'll beat you, that's for sure. Alright, your workout starts now. Let's do this thing.
Down again. Rise up. Long time I broke the chains. I tried to fly away so high, direction sky. I tried to fly away so high, direction sky.
my gosh, I did not think he'd work out this much. I know, bro, right? Yeah.
I know, right, Tim? We only have 12 hours to train these guys into WWE wrestlers.
Well, he actually has been working out. He drank all of those Powerades somehow. And like, literally now he's like, oh my god, I'm gonna be the strongest guy ever.
But this Rainbow is really small. How is he able to win this thing? And geez, Saki, why did you name him Arco Iris? Sounds like a German company that produces cheese cubes.
Arco Iris is a German name. Wait, was that Sheldon or was that somebody else? That was Dan, bro. Oh, I forgot that was Dan. Jesus. Wow. I didn't drink too much, did I?
Okay. Thing. Do you even know how to exercise? Because you can't do much, and we gotta make it the strongest thing ever. Now, the key to success to all this is that you drink all the water, run all the treadmills, lift those tempos. Your workout starts now.
He's doing another workout, apparently, bro. Oh my gosh. I can lift these. And no, I can't. That's his 8th bottle. Oh my gosh. Wow. That's impressive. Okay. Dumbbells. Can't be that hard for me. I'm just saying that Arcoiris is. What? Arcoiris?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Dad. I didn't know.
That's fine, but be more careful.
Alright, I'll try. Anyways, that's such a weird name.
Well, Pete, that's really impressive just for a shy rainbow like you. But you're short and what kind of horn?
You know what sets me sometimes, JP? I was starting to wonder if we had like this challenge we have to take care of stuff and to like work them out, you know.
I was just thinking about that, Flip. What if we have a challenge where we had to take care of the weirdest things ever? Okay, that's out of sight. I just predicted today's challenge. But who are we having though?
Well, we already did.
He's a shy rainbow, but Aichi is the weirdest thing ever.
Well, he hasn't been that bad so far. I mean, I'm sure he'll be able to win the challenge in no time. Well, Weird Marauder, we're gonna have to do these ourselves then, I guess. Yeah, I guess I do kind of feel the same way.
Sorry, Richie, but Dan's right.
Wait, what? Oh, yeah, I forgot. I guess I kind of deserve it.
Richie, me, Spikey, and Steve felt bad after what happened earlier today. Are you feeling okay right now?
I guess. I'm kind of used to this hatred, though, because, well, Dan always seems to pick on me, which I'm kind of used to by now. They better not be helping him. They're gonna confront him, I know it. And another thing, too, I'm not really that great of a leader, so, you know.
That's good. We even got a few members of Team 10 Shredless to help you out with the challenge, so that way you won't feel so bad. After all, they did help our girl Iris.
I told you to stop saying that name. Where?
Or whatever the heck his name is for his training, so it's fully completed now.
Well, you know what? I guess I do feel a bit more confident now. Oh yeah, and by the way, it's Flip, Rich, and Chisaki who's gonna be helping you. Wow, I never even knew people liked me. Well, I did knew that people liked me, but not this much. I feel more confident now. That's right. Now let's get training now, Richie, before the challenge ends. 10 minutes left, guys. Just want to let you know. Ooh, we better hurry. You're right. Let's go. Just one more, Weird Maroon. Drink all these. Wow. Congratulations, Weird Maroon. You're now gonna win first. Team 1, Team 4 challenge is up. Maybe in the WWE wrestling match, okay? I'm coming, Oodle. Hey, are you guys Team 2? Yeah, that's us. Well, Oodle just told me that the challenge is up. Who are you? I'm one of Oodle's friends, Colin Barref. Anyways, by the way, about the tractor circles is gonna attack you, the fast fun.
Oh, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. Perfect, my boy. That's what Mom will get nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's WWE match. So, there's gonna be 4 rounds in this overall show. Round 1 is gonna be Team 1 versus Team 3. Round 2 is gonna feature Team 2 and Team 4. And then round 3 is gonna feature the losing teams. And, well, actually, the winning teams, and then the final round's gonna feature the losing teams. So, up for this round, we have for Team 1, Weird Maroon. What's up? Oh, fuck you. And for Team 3, we have a very, very special guest. He's also known as Harvey's brother. Please welcome Easy Idol Tractor. That's me, Harvey. Wish me luck. He can't really get up. Anyways, the round will begin in 30 seconds. The round starts now. Oh, that's it, buddy. It ain't gonna be over. No, loud horn honking. Oh. And Weird Maroon wins. Easy Idol Tractor loses. And before I get, my fast phone died. So, hey, are you kidding me? Sorry. Oh God. How the heck did Weird Maroon win that first round? Are you hiding something from me, Richie? No. Because I thought you screwed up, man.
That's right, Richie. You're really starting to screw up a lot. If we lose, it's gonna be all your fault.
Sorry. Anyway, since Weird Maroon won that first round... Wait, what? Weird Maroon won that first round?
No way Weird Maroon is gonna win this... Wait a second. Richie, how did he beat the Easy Idol Tractor so hard? Maybe you're not as useless as we thought.
He is still useless. I mean, he's literally been number 70 with Gasper on him. That means Weird Maroon will be going into the next round. Now up for the next one, it's gonna be the Speed Demon versus Arco Iris. His name is Arco Iris. Arco Iris, I guess.
Who else but...
We did it!
Light one in his butt.
Ooh, that's me, sister, yay. Oh, I did not think I'd be on this side. No, fast. I'll try my best. Okay, Speed Demon, the Shy Rainbow. Your round starts now. Sister, I'm gonna tell you now. It's gonna be me or you. Oh. What the heck? I'm sorry, Speed Demon, but I must. Oh my God, you did not just drink that whole thing. Oh. I'm sorry, but I had to. Just suck, James Charles. Anyways, for Shy Rainbow wins. So now it's gonna be Team 1 and Team 4 finally in the boss round. and Team 2, Team 3, you both have a chance still. But whoever comes down first is up for elimination. Now, up next, Weird Maroon versus the Shy Rainbow. Excuse me. For the final boss round. Wait, what do you mean by boss round? Well, basically just a winning round. Well, why are you doing that next instead of last? For losing, it all decides on. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Damn it, sister! I told you tractor tipping wasn't a good idea. It's not our fault. Yeah, well, how did I lose that first round anyway? Alrighty, Rainbow. You ready to do your best you can? Yeah, and I feel stronger thanks to you. Weird Maroon, Shy Rainbow, come on up. Wish me luck. Oh no. Well, what happened? Did he just drink every single last one? Nope. It's because he worked out. Wait, is it actually gonna make him bigger? Let's see. I can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel it. Oh my gosh, bro. Wait, what?
Oh my gosh. The Shy Rainbow literally turned into the biggest rainbow ever. That space alien is actually gonna lose after all.
That is some rainbow. Oh my gosh. Team 4, you win the challenge! And with that out of the way, Team 2 and Team 3 still have to fight. Speed Demon versus the Easy Idle Racing Tractor. Whoever loses this one is gonna cause their team to be up for elimination. Well, are you ready? Sister, I was born ready. And I'm gonna beat you anyway because you're just a tractor. And I'm a bit concerned why, Harvey didn't train his brother well enough.
Because Harvey's brother is a tractor. And he's not really able to do much for the challenge. And I just think if we're going to fight against the Shining Rainbows, he's suddenly going to go bigger and get easy as a tractor will just fall into over.
I bet, sister. Yeah, I didn't want to come down to this. Yeah. Didn't say so. Oh, look around. Oh, yes, look around me. Oh. Yes, I won. Yeah. Oh, Jesus, I'm exhausted. Team 2 wins the challenge. Team 3, you're up for elimination. Sorry. Team 2, as for you guys, lucky the Speed Demon just saved you guys. And even Colin Borev, because of Borev. If he wasn't here, well, that's all would have never happened. So let's see here. Team 4 and the Shy Rainbow got first place. Team 1 and Weird Maroon got second place. Team 2 and the Speed Demon got third place. And Team 3's up for elimination with fourth place with the Easy Idle Racing Tractor. Wow, that was a really intense match that just happened.
Yeah, I'm sorry guys, I didn't mean to make us lose. Well, what does an immunity do, Udo?
So, what an immunity does, it helps you save up for the next elimination. So let's say you got voted, and that practically means 0 votes. So, an immunity will keep you safe on this elimination time, Harvey. And you're lucky, even though you might have made just your team lose, but that's okay. Ow, stupid tractor.
Whoa! Hey, check it out, Eric. An immunity helps to get safe for elimination. But I promise I'll do better with my rider from now on.
I can't believe we lost both of those matches. I can't say we didn't do much, but at least an immunity keeps you safe. That's pretty cool.
Oh, for somebody else, feel free to get eliminated. And stay tuned for next week's upload because it's going to be Survival of the Idiots Episode 7 soundtrack song. Like, an actual song, but not sung by me, unfortunately, but that's okay. Anyways, Harvey Wildcat has immunity, so you cannot vote for him. Voting end will next week on February 11th, when the song comes out. Thank you all so much for watching, and see you next episode. Oh my god, this is horrifying. How did you even get a second place anyways? This is stupid, like unbelievable.
Come on, Dad. Don't get mad at Richie. Somehow he got second place, and that's pretty good, right?
I guess, but still, it's not really that great for me because now I'm gonna get shamed on. And well, what if you felt that way and I had to do the same thing towards you? I'll be back. I gotta go speak to Barry. This is ridiculous.
That's pretty impressive, Richie. But Dan didn't want me to tell you this, but he pretended to be mad at you because he, like you and Dan, would destroy us. Now it's just us versus the shy rainbow. You trained Weird Marvin pretty good today. Shame on you, Dan.
What did I just... You don't ever say that. Shame on me.
Wait, I'm sorry, Dan. I promise I'll do better.
Yeah, sister. Oh gosh. Why are they still fighting? Just ignore it. I bet I'll be fine. That is so weird. Isn't that weird? Like, who fights after the tournament just ended? Like, that's weird. Like, oh god. This is the weirdest thing I've seen all day. Like, come on.
I think, but let's see the rest.
Association for Cookie Jar Entertainment, copyright 2023. And please note the credits was accidentally paused record because my finger slipped. Dude, come on, that's literally one of the worst things I've seen.
I think, but let's see the rest.